Hello everyone, welcome to this podcast. My name is Rachel Aurell Azella Sompotan. My name is 2802569182 and I am from LA68. So today I'm going to talk about one of the most important issues in international migration, which is the Rohingya refugee crisis and its impact on Indonesia. So when we hear the word migration, many people think about moving abroad for work or perhaps education. However, not all migration happens by choice. Some people are forced to leave their homes because of conflict, violence, or persecution. This is known as forced migration, and one of the most well known examples today is the Rohingya refugee crisis. Now, who are the Rohingya? So, the Rohingya are a Muslim ethnic minority from Myanmar, mainly living in Rakhine State. Mm, and for many years, they have experienced discrimination, violence, and exclusion from society. And one of the biggest reasons behind this crisis is Myanmar's 1982 citizenship law. So, this law denied the Rohingya citizenship, making them stateless in their own country. And without citizenship, they have very limited access to education, healthcare, employment, and also legal protection. So, over the years, repeated military operations and ethnic violence forced hundreds of thousands of Rohingya to flee by sea to neighboring countries such as Bangladesh, Malaysia, and Indonesia. And to better understand this issue, we can look at two important concepts. The first one is human security. So, unlike traditional security, which focus on protecting the state, human security focuses on protecting the people. It emphasizes that everyone should have access to safety, basic rights, healthcare, education, and also economic opportunities. And also, the second concept is national resilience. So, this refers to a country's ability to maintain political, economic, and also social stability when facing external challenges such as a large number of incoming refugees. So, from this perspective, refugee management is not only humanitarian responsibility but also an important part of maintaining national stability. So, next is the impact on Indonesia. So, Indonesia has become one of the countries that receives Rohingya refugees, especially in Aceh. So, this situation creates both challenges and also opportunities. On one hand, Indonesia faces pressure on public services such as healthcare, education, and temporary shelters. And there are also security concerns because irregular migration routes can be used by human trafficking and smuggling networks. And in addition, some local communities have expressed their concerns about competition for limited resources, leading to social tensions. And on the other hand, Indonesia has demonstrated a strong humanitarian commitment. So in Aceh, local communities have welcomed many Rohingya refugees based on Islamic values and local traditions, especially the Panglima Laut custom, which encourages fishermen to help people in distress at sea. So, the rights of refugees are mainly protected under the 1951 Refugee Convention and its 1967 protocol. And although Indonesia has not ratified these international agreements, the country still follows the principle of non refoulement. This principle means that refugees should not be returned to places where their lives or freedom are at risk. Indonesia also uses presidential regulations number 125 of 2016 as the main legal framework for handling foreign refugees. So, international organizations such as UNHCR and IOM also play an important role by providing humanitarian assistance, health services, and refugee status determinations. And despite these efforts, several challenges remain. And one major challenge is ASEAN's principle of non interference, which limits regional action because member states generally avoid interfering in each other's domestic affairs. Another challenge is Myanmar's refusal to recognize the Rohingya as one of its official ethnic groups, making long-term solution much more difficult. And Indonesia also faces financial limitations while rising xenophobia and negative public perception can increase social tensions in host communities. So, in conclusion, the Rohingya refugee crisis is much more than humanitarian issue. It is also an international migration challenge that affects human rights, regional security, and also international cooperation. And Indonesia continues to balance its humanitarian responsibilities with its national interests. However, achieving a long term solution will require um, stronger regional cooperation, greater international support, and efforts to address the root causes of the crisis in Myanmar. So, thank you for listening, and I hope this podcast has helped you better understand the impact of the Rohingya refugee crisis on Indonesia. Thank you.